is really high production value.
Hell yeah, it's time. We finally moved out of our Monday time and just started improving every show along the network. Welcome to Signal. No, we're kidding. Hey, welcome to Grim After Dark. Tonight, lore specialist and screaming head Taylor Pearson is back to share his hatred of knights, his hatred of Warhammer lore, and also a strong dislike of you personally. My name is
whoever
John.
You are.
It is pretty grim after dark. Welcome, Bitshammer. Glad you can make fun of my fantastic Nosferatu hairline in real time. My co-host today needs some introduction, even though he's on screen right now. What are we even doing? He's coming to us tonight with a special plea. It's Danny McDevitt.
It's wild tonight. It's a pleasure to be here,
dude. It's wild. I think the majority of people watching have never seen this set before, so it's all new.
It's just a looted set from
looted
Signal.
set.
So yeah, we saw what Meth had, and we decided to take it. I have to say, the production value on the intro was really high.
I will say,
I agree.
Now that we're in the Signal set, we can call him Seth. It's only the grim stuff we haven't have to do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Hey, Danny, last week we introduced the Charity Bagger 5000 as shown by this beautiful slide that will show up somewhere. Who even knows? John, literally, I just want to buy 2 Chaos Knights. That's really all I want. This beautiful thing, and Taylor, you're quite right, which thank you to all 4 of you who reached out to let me know their local GW store had one, and the 3 people who sent me links to Facebook sell posts that I literally missed by 5 minutes every single time, to the point where I thought it was a joke that you guys were sending them to me at that time. But Danny, take me through your special charity donation that you made up this week in this slide here.
True. We got there, dude. We got there.
We love it. So yeah, let Danny literally just buy 10 crew boys. Danny, take me through your special one here.
Oh man. Yeah, so guys, I really don't need 10 more crude. I've already met this goal. It was actually, before we even put this graphic up, it was leaked by the same person who's leaking the Slaves to Darkness rules. So it was leaked like 6 months ago, and I already have all the 10 crude that I need.
Shameful, really.
I do have to say, like, and people complaining, like, for those not aware, the Slaves to Darkness book for Age of Sigmar is pretty much leaked. It's not coming out until December. Really, if you think about your 40K leaker, they have to make like a book last 2 weeks worth of leaks, or maybe even sometimes just a week. This guy leaking the Slaves to Darkness book has to make it last for 7 months. It's crazy there. Hopefully Danny didn't see that one there. That's our next joke, which hopefully he'll laugh at there.
Oh, I saw it.
Amazing. Hey, Danny, so much news to talk about from the last week. What are you excited to talk about today?
John, so much stuff. I really hope that we're able to talk about some open source display boards. I hope that we're able to.
We're not, but that's okay.
Oh, all right.
Damn, dude.
Well, I'm excited to talk about this guy's wife. Then let's move on to this next. Let's move on to this.
Okay. So yeah, Danny, tonight we get to talk about squats. We're going to touch on some lore. We're going to take a look at some knights. We not only do we look at the coldest takes I could find, but I even found some motivational ones for us here. But before we start all that, Danny, I have a few questions for you. I'd love for you to comment on some of these reviews that the amazing FLGM podcast feed has received over the last week. Starting with this guy here. It says, 5 stars for Danny. Now please let my wife go. I did what you asked. I miss her so much. What did you do to this dude's wife, Danny?
You know what they say, John. And this is something that I've learned as I've taken more law classes. Just don't talk about that stuff. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what he's talking about. That's very strange.
Chat, don't descend too far into Cars talk. I will derail the entire show with it. We also have this review that we had coming up. It's a 4-star one for the network. It says, mostly perfect, one huge flaw. The shows are mostly great and never miss. Unfortunately, the Grim After Dark show doesn't fit well with the shows, so like 1/5 of all shows feel out of place. And like they don't belong in the same feed. If that show was separated out, I would give all the other shows 5 stars easily. Danny, your thoughts on that review?
So they didn't say we're bad, just that we don't belong with everyone else. So it's it's kind of like which of these things is not like the other.
True.
We did the math. If you were to give the Thursday show, Signals from the Frontline, other shows like that, 5 stars, by law of averages, a 4-star review would mean we would receive 2 stars. Saying I believe we're below average, which is fair and true.
Sure.
I don't really understand your math, John, but okay.
That doesn't seem like a triangle to me. I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's pi. It's r. It's hypotenuse. Perfect. Finally, I'm gonna have one more review I want to go through here because you guys, the loyal Grim After Dark listening audience, are actually just filling our feed with reviews. The next one is, I'm here to nullify some dude's comment, are you Grim After Dark, and how out of place it is. One of the better shows in my opinion, but also I'm also here hoping the other guy got his wife back from Danny. 5 out of 5 stars, assuming the homie got his wife back.
That sounds like the first guy made a separate account trying to get his wife back.
I mean, that's fair, and that's cheating. Guys, I have no idea where Danny kidnapping your spouse, if you don't rate us 5 stars, came from. Was that something you, like, incepted into people's brains?
John, I really don't have any comment about that.
Damn it, we caught Danny on law finals week, so he's all, like, studied up on
ready.
what to say.
The shields are up,
what not to say. Shields are up. He's good to go. I mean, you can see him on screen here already, but Danny, why don't you go ahead and introduce the guest? Assuming he's here, of course, of his own free will, and you didn't kidnap his wife to get him here.
Well, tonight, I don't know, man. Come on, we got TayLore on the screen already. Like, it's TayLore.
I feel like I've been here the whole time.
I know, it's crazy, right?
All right, cool.
To the intro, be respectful of his time.
Please
Who
don't.
is it? Who knows?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's some guy. We picked him up on the street. He seems funny. Like, I don't know, he's cool.
Whatever.
We like him pretty well.
Yeah, I don't know. We're in the desert, I think. I don't do well with dry climates.
Is there so why is Signals in the desert? That's a great question. Can we kind of explore that topic?
I think it's because
where in the Fallout
is
universe
in
does
Nevada,
this take
right?
place?
Well, but Kicker's not even in Nevada.
But the company is, and the flagship event, the crown jewel, should you say, of Frontline Gaming is the Las Vegas Open.
No, I don't believe that for a second, John.
It makes sense. I mean, I know Cherokee
sense.
Open's causing waves, and so is Cruise Hammer. Get your tickets now. But
yeah, I see no ocean here. So
no, because it's the desert.
It seems wrong. The what?
Man, yeah, thank you, chat. The background is messing me up. I keep expecting Seth's giant head to show up. Like Mickey Mouse Clubhouse says, that's an important clue we'll use later.
Only.
Luckily for you, that won't be happening.
Well, we'll wait for a second here. We're going to start tonight in Texas, the second biggest state in the union, where after a disappointing run of seeing his Art of War coaches dare to lose a single game in a tournament environment, Nick Nanavati came out of competitive retirement, Thanos style, to do it himself and win the whole event. Guys, another Art of War podium, but are you surprised to see Nick come out on top here? Starting with you, Taylor.
Not really. Nick's a good player. I don't know. What was he? He was playing Craftworld, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, Craftworld's real good. Halo Doom, go 6s to wound, auto wound, or 6s to hit, auto wound, a bunch of AP, Dire Avengers. It's a lot of stuff. Seems good. Just win. Yeah. Just win. It's that easy.
Just win. Danny, there was a lot of talk about how some of the lists coming out of that trap house, or sort of the solitaire hammer, right? Where the idea is like, I'm just going to score 94 points regardless of what you do. Is this indicative of what Nick's list did? And then as a follow-up, is this sort of where top level competitive 40K is at right now?
Who cares?
Oh, one.
No,
yeah,
I don't know.
No.
I mean, come on. Like, yeah, good for Nick. I'm really glad he won.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I think it's pretty fun. I don't know. I'm not here to analyze the meta or some shit. Look, we're here to talk about, like,
that's what
Nick
Thursday
came
is.
Right out of retirement. like
Yeah. Down for the mountain.
effectively event retirement, and still won this event. He's an amazing 40K player.
Yeah, PogChamp,
I can personally attest, because every time I play him, I freaking lose. So like, yeah, and his army's good, and sure, if you think that the non-interactivity is a list style, I think that almost all the players, if you pardon the phrase, they play like bitches, because like they never overcommit stuff. They just kind of, I'm going to do the bare minimum and expose the least amount to try and win. So I think it totally fits with that play style. So all of those guys play like that.
Yeah, that's the trap house thing. I don't think that's like
it's really good.
It's good. I don't think it's like all of top level top level stuff. Like, you can just kill your opponent. I know that's like not well regarded or whatever. You can just kill them.
You also have the option of murder. Like, that's something that you can do.
Commit violence.
Yeah,
I do like that. Like, I've been talking with you, Taylor, about like Chaos Knight lists and kind of things I want to do. I'm like, I want to use the Abominant so I can do this and this. And you're like, yeah, but why don't you just use this and kill them instead? And I'm like,
you're like, what if I do all this wacky stuff? I'm like, no, commit murder.
No. And thank you, chat, saying, is John doing tabloid pieces on the Tom Brady of 40K? One, no, he's here to party, man, and I'm always down to party. Taylor, is Nick Nanavati the Tom Brady of 40K? Let's just throw out as many references none of us know.
Is Tom Brady like a Brett Favre? Is that what that means?
Yeah, he's like the Tom Brady is like the Wayne Gretzky of hockey.
All right. So it's forming. It's forming. I have no idea. I'm gonna. You know
Daddy,
what?
You seem to disagree with what I said there.
I'm gonna
What does
go
that even mean?
with a flat no.
Yeah,
flat no. Got it. Amazing.
Absolutely no further comment at all. No, absolutely not.
Yeah, and great job again. And like, no hit pieces. Nick Nanavati, an amazing player by the fact he can, form his coaching business, and decide to randomly kind of go to Dallas and win the whole thing. And what was a tumultuous event. He even brought his own display board. Who would have thought? Moving on.
That's not a common thing.
Not a common thing. That's not what you do in Texas. Everything's bigger in Texas, including disqualifications. Disturbing sidebar, guys. Here. Let's move right on to a lore topic. Taylor, we usually bring you on to talk about books, and we kind of scream about things a little bit.
Oh, no,
I brought
dude.
one lore pice to talk about here. And it's this piece here, which is this wonderful little sidebar that I'm going to scream here. Let me pull this up on something else real quick here. As Dan... Taylor, very, very, very able to see that right now. Cool. Yeah, I love how everything degrades. I wouldn't blame the signal set as to why I can't see that.
It's definitely not any kind of technical difficulties.
Because I know. Okay. Really hard. I didn't get more than 3 words.
But yeah, put it back up here. So, like, I'll use my eyes. It's going to say, Mother Gullet and Bitshammer knows where we're going. Legend tells of a daring and hideous crime perpetrated by a Calidus assassin against a planetary governor who thought himself strong enough to defy imperial rule. The governor doted on his infant son and had him guarded night and day to prevent his kidnapping. According to the tale, a Calidus assassin disguised herself as the child's nanny and so gained access to the princeling. Employing the shape-changing powers of polymorphine, the resourceful assassin swallowed the child like a python and carried it away past the guards in her belly.
Awesome. I thought she was going to become the baby.
I thought that was where it was going.
Put it way cooler.
Taylor, starting with you, this is pretty messed up. We have some, thank you, chat. Vor, I got a term, never Google that.
Warhammer 40,000 is like, that is a rad fucking comment.
Matt coming in like hot with that there. Thank you for catching the show live,
Please
Matt. No. Taylor, what's the most disturbing, messed up piece of lore you have seen from Warhammer 40,000?
Well, that's actually really easy. It's the Daemon Kilaba. That one's like not even. I don't even have to think about that one. It's just flat bam, Demon Kilaba.
Not necessarily for me, but for maybe a fool who doesn't know things.
Oh, like a Dumbo brain.
Yeah,
Can
like
a. That?
Yeah.
Please don't put that on the screen. It's fine. Or yeah, so the Daemon Kilaba. It's like, okay, what if you were one day you were an Iron Warrior and you're like, I keep getting all my dudes killed, and I don't get enough of them fast enough, and my attrition rate is too high. It's just not fair. I'm feeling sad. And so you were like, all right, what I'll do is I'll get a bunch of women together and I'll put them all in a room, and
As
then
you
I'll
do.
hook them up to a bunch of horrible evil machines, and then they will birth space marines who don't have any skin on them.
Oh,
And then
yeah, okay.
You do hate
Right.
skin.
Right, and usually that kills them, if they're lucky.
But
If sometimes the lady doesn't die, and then she gets to go another round, and it's like, all right, this sucks. This is the worst. I'm
Like
having
a
a
DJ
terrible time.
Like a DJ Khaled style. Another one.
Another one.
Is suffering
Another
from
one.
success, truly.
Truly suffering, one might say. Yeah. So, forced pregnancy, forced feeding. It's a lot like Slither. Have you seen Slither, where the lady gets real big and she's like, "I'm hungry, John," or whatever Garfield said that one time? It's like that.
I don't think you did say that.
So essentially,
I have the comic to prove he did say that.
new Iron Warriors are made by Garfield in an amusing Saturday morning comic. Danny, can you think of something else super disturbing that isn't the incredibly disturbing thing Taylor just said?
Yeah. So seeing this, the Wayne England art and like the little like side of the Codex kind of blurb fluff, it just reminded me that there was a Dark Eldar character named Cruella the Vile, who just
True.
had the worst, most awful fluff. She had like these weird bone spurs that grew out of like her wrists, and
Yeah.
she
Do
had
you
this-
have a coat made out of puppies at the same time?
it turns out, no, you don't need that when you directly rip off the name of another character. She just needs to be really disturbing. She did have a white streak in her hair, I think, though.
She did.
I just-
You're missing the most fun part about her, and it's her weapons and her friends. Remember?
God.
The emasculators?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Damn it, Taylor. Like, okay, guys. I mean, it's all fun and games until Taylor sends you the actual picture of the Garfield comic. And then
Yeah,
it just
I was-
gets-
I was not lying.
You'll do it.
Put that on screen. Put it
No.
on screen right now.
I don't have. Thank God, I don't have that power. I cannot do that
You're
at
making
all.
me sad, dude.
Oh, I try. Taylor, back to you. And this
Sure.
might be far harder for you to answer. What is the most wholesome thing you've seen in Warhammer lore? We've talked about the disturbing, the Cruella de Vil. Gotta watch that copyright.
Yeah.
What is the most wholesome thing you've seen?
Oh, that one's also super easy. It's in Saturnine. It's when so there's the main human character Alanius in that story. He's with a group of human survivors, and Janetta Kroll, who is the best heresy character. She's in 2 books. She doesn't talk in one of them. But
I think it's weird that Sigismund has 2 names, but go ahead.
Sigismund isn't real, and he can't hurt me. Anyway, so Janetta Kroll she's doing a bunch of hero stuff. She's fighting essentially alone because no one can see her because her spookiness level is so big, large.
Mm-hmm.
So she's killing a bunch of Chaos Champions because they're tiny babies. Chaos Champions are tiny babies you can easily murder for fun and pleasure. It's easy. You just kill them. Chaos is not a threat. Anyway. So she's
By the
killing a bunch
way,
of Chaos
guys, just to jump in there real quick, that's also going to be Danny and I's review of the Chaos Space Marine Codex whenever that
Right.
launches.
I
we can
hope
just
so.
copy-paste
Tiny
that right
babies.
God, I hope so. Anyway, so Janetta Kroll is being the coolest character in all of Heresy, and Alanius and his group of human survivors are about to die. They're about to be overrun by a bunch of World Eater possessed, and they're losing their minds because they're about to die. And they have the banner of the Emperor Ascendant, and they're fighting as humans do in 40K, heroically but super ineffectually. So Janetta comes out of nowhere, like literally nowhere. She like lightning out of the sky and kills all the possessed. And the survivors just lose their minds. They go absolutely crazy with joy. Maybe. Okay, I'm getting a little bit too emotional for this joke, but that's fine.
No, I
In-
let the tears flow. They're
You know,
hilarious. 'cause
Taylor,
they're
what's
coward.
important to remember is these are fictional characters and they can't hurt you.
they hurt me in my heart.
Oh.
It's so good, and a lot of it I think was carried by the voice actor, the guy who's reading the book. Like he really sells it. I would highly recommend going and listening to that part of Saturnine. It's really good. I'm not doing it a lot of justice, but like it's really really good.
Heck yeah. Danny, while reaching that same level of care and emotion and kind of description that Taylor just had, what's the most wholesome part of 40K for you in the lore?
Well, John, I like to turn my attention to the Gaunt's ghost novels and the raising of Dallin of Dallin and Yancey, two orphans
Wow.
that turned out to be Chaos Murder Machines. Like there's this whole backstory where they get raised and like they're very sweet, like they get brought up in this regiment of warriors over many many books, and then it turns out that they were never real.
Right, and like
isn't that the plot from like WandaVision as well?
And like their parent was there, right? Like one of their parents survived, but they thought the kids thought their parents died, but they were actually there, and they were like, I can't break up this family that's been created by my children being rescued by this couple. I can't break that up. That'd be too hard.
Correct.
And so they watch from a distance this family be happy, and then
it turns out that the kids were dead like a really long time ago.
Oh no!
And thank you so much. Chat says, way to spoil WandaVision. And again, if you go to any good place that podcasts are found and leave a 5-star review, solely leave the text, way to spoil WandaVision FLGN. That will be fantastic. And Bitshammer coming in with clearly the most heartwarming story in all of 40K was when Vulcan lit that Eldar child on fire. The child's heart was warm for the rest of its life. Taylor, did that actually happen?
It did, yeah. It's so the Night Lords and the Salamanders were hanging out on the planet doing a compliance, and then the Eldar were there, and they were like, "We need you to stop really all of the things that you're doing. We can't have all of this." And the Marines were like, "No, stop. This is our planet now." And so they kill all of them, and then
some light genocide.
They're not. It's not genocide. They're not people. They're just aliens. It's fine. So, this child watches its parents get genocided by the Marines, and
but it's not genocide.
Is like, but it's like a little upset. It's like that kind of sucks, and so it goes on a big psychic rampage, and Vulcan just like so it kills one of Vulcan's friends, and Vulcan just like Deadeye stares at it as it's like screaming and crying at him, and he's like, "Yeah, cool, flamer," and he just lights it on fire, and then he watches it burn, and he's really upset about it. And then a reporter asks him like, "Hey, what was that about?" And then he leaves angrily because that book is terrible.
No comment.
I have no comments.
They got that all on film too. It was sent to a lot of.
It was really hyped.
Propaganda sites.
Yeah, there's a bunch of remembrancers that are like, "I'm going to draw this child being on fire. It's going to be the sickest shit in the world."
What even does that pitch meeting sound like? Where he goes to the Black Library editors and he was like, "Okay, so you know how the Salamanders love humanity, and they're like the number one legion that loves and protects humanity. What if we just set a child on fire in my book?"
John.
Yes.
Do you know who wrote that book?
I'm going to guess by your reaction it was Nick Kime.
It's Black Library's chief editor. He went to himself and was like, "Yeah."
It's like, can I do this? Can I do this? And he was like, "Yeah, Nick, you can do this." He's like, "Thanks, other Nick."
Thanks, Nick. This is awesome. I think this is great.
Oh, Challenges, no, Nick Kime's been trying to grimdark the Salamander for years, and if setting children on fire doesn't grimdark things, what will?
I hate those books, dude. Genuinely hate those books.
It's no nemesis.
Which ones? Wait, which Salamander books? Because like
all of them.
All right. I have to disagree with you. I think that the very first Salamander series is fine.
No. No. After the Nick Heim heresy stuff, no, absolutely not. Sorry.
Yeah, no, this is way before the Nick Heim heresy stuff.
Yeah, it retroactively ruined it. It made it bad.
The Salamanders ruined forever because of that.
Legitimately,
arc,
you can't actually like the Salamanders. It's not a thing you can legally do as a person. I'm sorry.
No, guys, we got to unlike Nick Heim and Salamanders, we got to move on. Into some new stuff from Warhammer community, starting with the League of Votan, the only army that matters anymore. And to celebrate, not only are we in the Signal set, but we're going to present this next set of pictures in Sathovision. So guys, it's been announced that the Votan is actually a super old computer that's running real slow, like kind of seen in this meme here. And guys, if you are listening to the audio version, you need to check out YouTube and the backcoders Twitch to really get the quality that you're gonna find Danny almost passing out laughing to. So Taylor, what's your take on this futuristic imagining of Dwarf lore? So we essentially have like a book of grudges and a reason to be doing things that is just like a really old like Apple computer.
I literally could not care less about anything that is happening other than Seth's face.
Yeah, dude, no, for real, look at it.
I'm gonna need you to, because we have about 4 slides worth of it.
Oh no, dude, you can't do this to me. Oh.
So
it's cool.
The Bortel. So they announced in the lore that instead of like the Book of Grudges and sort of elders they go to, the League of Votan is actually like a big old supercomputer that stores like the entire history of the squats and kind of all of the grudges and things, and tells them what to do. And as time has gone on, it's degraded. So now it takes sometimes weeks or months or years to even get a decision out of a Votan. Taylor, this is awfully similar to sort of like an Emperor on a Golden Throne situation, right?
Yeah, just download more RAM, idiot.
Clean out your cookies, you dumb fuck.
Have you defragmented your computer in the last 3 centuries, you idiot?
Absolutely not.
Jesus. You deserve it.
Denny is kind of like a classic Warhammer Fantasy player. What's your take on this kind of dwarf adjacent history? It seems to be like a super respectful way of sci-fiing dwarfs.
Wait a minute. Okay, hold on a minute.
Okay.
Nowhere in the article of lore does it talk about grudges. But the fact that you applied the grudges to the computer is really important, because all I imagine is like dwarves like angrily typing out like MySpace journal posts, like or blog posts about how awful different people are. Like, just initials.
That's going in the sidebar.
So
for sure.
How I imagine it is, do you remember the movie Team America World Police? And they have the computer called Intelligence.
True.
No, I don't.
No, it's a computer called Intelligence, and they ask it things, and it's like, hey, Intelligence, what do we do? It's like, so, I don't know, maybe invade here. And they're like, thanks, Intelligence. So like it's that sort of thing where they go like, hey, computer, are we mad at these people? And it's like, maybe.
Let me get back to you on that.
I'll get back to you. Let me triple the RAM. Terrible. But yeah, I'm enjoying this. I'm hoping that I can actually take a Votan on the field of battle, much like a Slan in Warhammer Fantasy. Maybe they carry the servers on a Palquin on the back.
It's what drives the train.
The land train.
That's right.
Not only that, though, guys, we also got a stat line for the League of Votan, presented again in Sathovision for our Hearthkin Warrior.
Can I ask some questions? I feel like I have a lot of questions, John. First of all,
sure, go ahead.
What specifically denotes Sathovision? Like what? Like why are we using this instead of like any normal? Isn't this just a? Is this a laziness thing? I have to know. Like,
okay, so,
is it that specific JPEG? Is that what does it?
So let's go behind the scenes here a little bit.
Why is Seth so
So
angry in this picture?
we create these. The way we share images on the show is we create a PowerPoint that I sent to super producer Val or with super producer Dick this week. With kind of the pictures I want to show, and by the fact we use PowerPoint, I can layer things, I can do weird things. Last week's show, I actually cut out Seth's face to put on top of a thumbnail to protect us from intellectual property law.
Yeah, it made me laugh.
So when I was going through and creating this week's show, instead of deleting that slide, I kept Seth's face.
I see.
Also that night, I was watching a very old episode of South Park, which was presented in Spooky Vision.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, what if we take the famously small, diminutive Seth Oster and present this dwarf section or a League of Votan section in Seth Vision?
He's
so
just
much like
he's just a regular sized person, John. Like
he's actually pretty tall. You're just also
he's not.
No, whenever I see Seth, I'm like, man, that dude's kind of short, honestly.
Strong 5'6" energy. You guys are right. I don't know what I was possibly thinking here.
John, I think like if you compare him to you and I mean, he's like normal sized, right?
Yeah. He's about our height, which is very tall.
No, it's normal.
Yeah, Danny the 6 foot, Seth the 5'11". It's right there.
Yeah. I can't argue with that. Guys, back to what we brought up here in Seth Vision was the Hearthkin Warrior. The stat line was released. What did you guys, starting here with Taylor, what did you guys think of the stat line of the basic Hearthkin Trooper?
I thought, oh buddy, they're just T4 Imperial Guard like I thought they would be, which pans out. I am interested in 2 attacks. I think that's pretty hot. We didn't see their gun, though, so cool stat line. Yeah, didn't see anything other than the stat line, which that seems like a dwarf stat line, I guess. Sure.
Yeah.
I think it's fair. I'm surprised. Yeah. Okay, so I'm surprised. Well, the thing I was surprised about was 2 attacks, and then also I was surprised about strength 4.
Sure.
So I was kind of surprised about that. They feel like Skitarii with better physical stats.
They got exosuits, so they got to be strength 4.
Yeah. Well, they have those toe shoes.
Right.
Of course, Mark Corn 8 coming in. The toes and the boots make up for everything.
Oh, hey, good. Mark Corn, I'm glad we're on the same page.
Yeah, Bitshammer coming in saying, Danny, Seth isn't big. He's just close up. It's all perspective. Yeah. So this, of course, was immediately ruined. As someone pointed out that on the profile of the basic squad leader, the 8 is upside down. And that sort of entirely ruined my day.
Oh my god! Who does that?
That's awesome. Perfect.
So this is the leadership of the squad leader for the Votan. He is leadership 8, but that 8 is upside down. And now, I've gone back and looked at that Warhammer community article. That's all I see is that upside down 8.
That's how you know they're not aligned with chaos, dude. Like they have 8, but they can't have Khorne's number, so they got to turn it upside down.
Yeah. Apparently, it's not upside down; it's squat. Marker Corn 8. We have jobs. Stop trying to take Danny and I's jobs. We're specifically here, and then it looks like Danny's fact checking another thing that comes.
No, now I have to look at all the 8s and the codexes.
Please,
they're all upside down.
No. This is kind of like that Twilight Zone episode when he's alone, he can read all his books, but then his glasses break.
Right.
This is Danny finding out that all the 8s are upside down. It's just the font that GW uses.
Yeah, finally the game is good, but the numbers are all upside down. It's not fair.
Oh my god, that would be that's the monkey paw kind of thing where I want Warhammer to be balanced, and they're like, fine, but all the stats are upside down. Space Marines move 9 now. How do you like that?
I hate that. I hate that a lot.
Guys, what's a ridiculous reason that a unit has been ruined for you? I'm going to start with Danny this time, so I'm throwing to Taylor a lot.
Sorry,
what's ruined a unit for you? Yeah. What is a ridiculous reason that a unit has been ruined for you?
Oh, man. God, I thought I had this right on the tip of my tongue here. John, you know what? Okay, here's one. Well, this isn't ridiculous, though. I just think Chaos Possessed will ruin for me every single time I see them get a new model kit released. Like, I see it and I'm like, oh, these guys suck.
They do. They really do. That's what Galvor back is for. And also bankruptcy and remortgaging.
No, Chen Popo's got it. Tits on a Necron, dude. That's the worst thing in the world. I can't even imagine a more cringe thing than tits on a Necron. Come on.
What about tits on a Tau Fire Warrior that didn't make the cut this week because I wasn't sure that the picture I found I would make it past Twitch guidelines.
It's fine. We can just say we all hate War Games exclusive. We can just say that out loud. I wish they would fall into the ocean.
Contractually, I'm not allowed to say that.
That's fair. Of all of the companies that failed because of COVID, sadly they weren't one. But Taylor, what about you? What is a ridiculous reason that you've looked at a unit and just been like, no, you are trash?
Keepers of Secrets, and it's because Chaos players are the way that they are.
Just bad people.
Yeah, this can apply to basically any chaos unit, but specifically in this instance, Keepers, even Demonettes, Slaanesh stuff in general, really.
And if you're listening or watching, it's your fault.
It is your fault. I know who you are, and it's you.
Yep.
And I think we touched on the start of the episode. Taylor doesn't like you, regardless of who you are. Let's see here. Well, people aren't happy anyway because the reaction was along the lines of this. Saying here, considering all other dwarf squat units have had a 3-inch move, strength 3 and toughness 4, this feels really unfluffy and just confirmation that GW have no idea what they want from 9th. Which technically I think should be has no idea, not have no idea.
Oh my fucking God. Terrible.
So with the person upset that they didn't keep their movement 3 from 2nd edition, guys, please no one tell them Space Marines move 6 inches now. Like literally, please,
T4.
no one. Yeah, no one do this. Taylor, starting with you, well, what are you hoping to see from the League of Votann?
I want them to have land trains. I want them to be the focus of the army. I want their bikers to come back, and I want them specifically to be Harleys. And I want the skid template, whatever that means. A voice in my ear is saying skid template, and I agree.
But Taylor's such a popular guest on the show, we can just tell him what to think.
Dude.
True.
Through his ears.
20, I want 20 guys in each squad. I don't know why, but I want that. Let's see. I want the leader guy to have a really stupid idiot face mask like the AOS dwarves have. You know what I'm talking about?
That will kill the entire. That will kill the entire.
I'll be honest. I really do want that. I really want that. I do.
Me too.
Oh my God, it looks so bad though, and just no. Then they're just dwarfs in space. They're not unique.
Tight as hell, John.
Oh God. The only thing worse than Mantic's business model of just using Kickstarters is their entire space dwarf range.
True. Dwarves can't be unique because every single design space in existence has been filled in 40K at this point. So they're just going to be a combination of 2 other things and probably better than both. And those 2 factions will cry and scream and shit their pants, which, fair, I guess. That's the 40K way. Right?
No, they're literally a combination of 3 factions, Taylor. Adeptus Mechanicus, Space Wolves, and Imperial Guard.
Oh, man, I'm so smart. I'm so smart.
I mean,
it's that easy, dude.
Right? Like the runes, like this, the quasi-Nordic theme, and then they have better technology with the robot feet.
Right. The robot feet are super important. I hope the Space Wolf players cry more than those other 2 factions. I think that would make me really happy. Yeah.
Hard agree.
I really want them to suffer. But
dude, guys, chat's coming in hard with us. They want to see mustache guns. They want to see giant sombreros. I don't think they know what a dwarf is, but I am here to support all of your.
No, they're right. They're right. I want them to have a Paragon suit-sized walker that instead of having the guns on the arms, the guns come out of the mustache. I think that's I think that person is correct.
Do you know there's literally a model in AOS that has mustache guns?
No, I don't pay attention to bad games, Danny.
Yeah, here you are talking about 40K at the most balanced it's ever
Oh,
been.
yeah, you got me, dude. It's
Yeah.
game-
So I'd like to respond to this comment about movement
Sure.
3. Okay. Well, hey, look, we're already talking about it in chat. So obviously, with the robot toe shoes, like these guys are going to have increased movement. So that's why they're movement 4.
exactly.
Or they movement 5. I don't remember. Anyway,
5, yeah.
yeah, 5. So let's be honest, guys. It's really exactly the same as it was before, because movement 3 is just one less than movement 4, which was the standard movement for most models in 2nd edition. So really, they're kind of on parity with everything else, right? And in parity with a lot of dwarf.
Oh, wow!
And I want some exosuits, baby. Like, give me some exo armor. Like, I want it. I want it real bad. And like movement, and another reason movement 3 is just the worst kind of trash rule of somebody thinking that that's good. It's like, who in the hell wants a movement 3 model in 40K? It would be literally the worst unit in the game. Like, especially if it was like line infantry, it would just be awful. Just
terrible.
Awful.
Poxwalkers move 4, voice in the sky.
3. See, we're getting these whispers in our ears, like people trying to tell us, like, yeah.
That's because they cost 6 points, not because they're moving.
Well, they're not.
Poxwalkers at least have some strats and things they can do to make them move a little bit faster. You can bring some guys up from the dead to move forward to cheat movement. I don't feel you'll be able to do that with Space Dwarves.
I want Space Dwarves to have like Assault 3, 24 inches, Strength 5, -2, 2 damage guns, and cost 6 points.
Perfect.
That's what I want. Yep.
Nailed it.
Yep.
Yeah, nailed it. Perfect. Guys, we have to leave Seth Vision now. And for that, guys, leave 5-star reviews for the FLGN shows and Seth Vision, and we will bring it back because I have the asset. Or Danny, you just said if you don't say things about kidnapping people's wives, then it won't happen, or you won't get in trouble for it, and then you just admitted to it.
The Golski, the
John, that was a jest. Sorry, this is a show that's about satire and comedy. So
I will murder you where you sleep. It's satire. You can't sue me. Guys, it's time to leave Seth Vision behind. But if you want to see more of Seth, please check out Signals from the Frontline every Wednesday night, right here on the Frontline Gaming Network on this set. Just done worse. But while we're plugging things, Frontline Gaming has released new sets of their popular full-color terrain series, FLG event terrain sets. These are the same high-quality, beautiful sets of terrain sold fully colored or uncolored in bundles that are the same as we run at our own FLG events. You can grab these awesome sets and play tournament-style games at home. Amazing. And guys, we've seen these full-color sets. They look great.
They're really cool.
We don't have a shield counter for this episode, so we can't kind of put this up here. But it does look great wherever it goes here. Guys, nights are up for pre-order this Saturday. Danny, finally, thank God. So make sure to stop by frontlinegaming.org. There's even a handy link in the notes of the show, which isn't there anymore, but that's okay. But before we get there, we have to acknowledge that, yes, the entire Chaos Knight book has leaked, and people are excited to play a fluffy, accurate, or... Wait. No one's happy. We have some really bad takes going on here.
Not a single person, yeah.
Not a single person. This next take here that Dick's going to pull up. So, wow. After watching the TT video and reading the leak stuff, is it just me, or is this the absolute most underwhelming codex that's dropped since Thousand Suns and Grey Knights? It is absolutely nothing like the last 4 or 5. Taylor, correct me if I'm wrong here. I'm not the wrinkliest brain person when it comes to 40K.
Sure.
I thought Grey Knights were actually pretty okay.
Wow. Remember earlier in this very stream when I said it's because Chaos players are like that? We're seeing an example right here. This Chaos player is being like that. And yeah, Grey Knights are great. They were great on release. They're great now. Thousand Suns are currently very good. I've seen the book. I know all leaks. I've seen them all. The book is good. You can play the book and do well. Is it the best army in the game? No. But if you are asking for your army to be the best army in the game on release, I'm going to tell you to please stop talking to me and never DM me again.
To be
Ever.
fair, you're
Don't
going to
at
say that.
me. Don't reply to my comments. Don't ever interact with me ever again. Please.
And guys, to
Please.
be fair, he says that to everyone he meets in real life and online.
It's notoriously hard to get a hold of me. I know. It's a
Chat
problem.
and strong, but saying not only is it a chaos player, which is a negative, but it's a night player, which is like a double negative there.
Yeah.
Why don't Taylor take us through some of your like high level overview of sort of the Chaos Knight book and where you think it lays
Sure.
and kind of where its strengths are?
So I think it plays like Knights have always played, which is I have this stat line. Can you deal with this stat line? Here it comes. And if you can, you get to win the game. If you can't, you get to lose the game. Which is how they have always played. They do it better now, certainly. Like, this book is definitely way better than their 8th book. And it's just as flavorful, if not more. I've always said that the 8th edition Chaos Knight book is the most flavorful book to release in that edition. It nails it, I think, as far as translating fluff to rules. It's not the strongest thing, for sure, but it's really cool. And I feel the same way about this book. It's either going to be, look at my 2 big men and my 6 small boys. Can you deal with them? Or is it going to be like, can you deal with my 4 large lads? If you can't, you will lose. And this is the question that Knights have always asked is, can you deal with my profile? Yes, no. And then you win based on the answer to your question. Sometimes Knights are busted, for sure. I don't think the Chaos book is busted, and I don't think it should be. I don't think a sane human being should ever ask, hey, I really wish that my book released like Tau did, or like Harlequins or Custodes. I think that's an insane person thing to say. I think you are just going nuts, if that's your opinion. I think you should shut your mouth and stop being so online. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Danny, I mean, is that a fair take that we have now a community that is expecting books to come out to the point where they're kind of point and click when broken for the first few weeks until an FAQ comes?
Well, yeah, John, I mean, and I'm going to disagree with Taylor. I think it's totally great when a book comes out and it's totally broken. And like, it's your time in the sun. Like, you've waited all this time. Your book has sucked. You've been playing this crappy army. And then all of a sudden this book releases and you're suddenly really good at Warhammer. Like, it happened overnight. You were never really bad at this game, but your book was holding you back. And now, like, that's not an obstacle in your way. And now you're incredibly good.
Once you open the codex, it unlocks the tactics in your heart.
Right.
And they get to shine through. And you're good at the game now.
Danny, is this the Tau player Danny talking? Or is this the AdMech Danny player talking? Or is this the Eldari?
John, look. Okay. Look, I play a lot of different armies. And so therefore I deserve to be on the top all the time. I work really hard at it by purchasing models and painting them. So I deserve to win. And clearly, like, I'm better than everyone else. So
clearly
that is fair. Yeah, that makes that argument, complete like and total confidence in your support in your superiority. That is an argument I can get behind. Everyone else sucks. I'm the greatest.
Yep,
that makes a lot of sense to me. Yep.
Taylor, who are the big winners and losers from the Chaos Knight book? You cannot say the player base.
Oh, you got me.
Oh man, it was so close.
The Rampager is the best thing in the book, I think. Pretty easily. That dude does a lot of work. With the right combo, he does like 20 to 30 mortal wounds for the price of getting in the melee. Yeah, so that guy's pretty good. I think the carnivores are pretty good. I think the losers are the tyrants. The tyrants don't get a lot of. They get some defense buffs if you buy certain marks for them or certain abilities, but they don't get a lot on offense. So he's just a really big, expensive man who can still die like a regular knight. Like if someone is like, hey, this is the thing that doesn't care about your defense buffs, he just dies, like a regular knight. And he costs 135 points more than most other knights. So I'm not really excited about the tyrants. Aside from the Harpoon Knight, who is the coolest knight, objectively. I don't think he's the best knight, though.
No, but I have spent hours lovingly converting a Night Tyrant. So thank you.
Yeah, I actually most of this last month has been me painting knights, and then I played an RTT with them this Saturday, and I put them in the sin box and are selling a bunch of them, and they're never coming out again.
And thanks to Taylor's RTT performance, I got a very good deal on a lot of armatures.
True.
The real loser here is us, maybe. Behold,
Is it?
Joker Knight.
Oh, hell yeah. I love it.
The paint is exceptional. The detail work, great. Guys, is this a case of awful taste but great execution? Starting with you, Taylor.
It's great taste because that's the 1990s Joker, which is the best Joker, and it's also the best Batman. So that's the correct Joker, and the paint scheme is eye-searing and horrible to look at, which means it's good. So I love it.
Danny, what's your take on this Joker Knight?
Well, John, we live in a society that really kind of...
Oh! He said it!
Guys, I want you to know. I lovingly spend a couple hours a week writing this show and choosing pictures. And in the notes for this show, it says, prod guests for We Live in a Society response, which is a mental reminder for me to do that. I know Danny lives a fashionable and very busy life and hasn't read that. So thank you for knowing where I'm going to go. But he said the thing. Go.
Yeah, so it's terrible. I hate it.
I love it, dude. It's awesome.
Oh, for real though. Well, let's just show this again here real quick. Guys, I need to buy like a regular Chaos Knight. Like that's all I want. I don't want to pay GW prices. I want to pay 15% off retail. Like I can get at quality places. But quality, awesome. Yeah, that's it for Knights. Guys, we're moving on. We got a brand new peek at a brand new Demon Prince. As the Age of Sigmar community showed that they truly are 6 months ahead of us by leaking a book out due out in December. Leaking stuff from December here. He's, in my opinion, not that great. In this slide here, there we go. So he's not that great. Taylor, what's your take on this new model?
Why are you focusing in on the part of the model that everyone hates?
It's this thing called I've been learning about called like rhetoric, where I can like influence the decision making and conversation.
John is creating a narrative. I hate his face. The rest of the model is fine. It doesn't do anything for me. I assume this is like the Corn version, and there's going to be a billion options. But I really hate the face. I think the face is terrible. The rest of the model is fine. The axe is cool. I like the axe. So I said there's going to be a bunch of options. I hope there's no options, and it has to be built like this, because I want Chaos players to suffer.
Fair. That's true. Chat asking if I'm the Tucker Carlson of the FLG, and no, I have morals and a soul. Danny, what's your thought on this new model? Is this going to be an upgrade over the old Demon Prince kit?
I think it depends on what you're looking for out of the kit. So if you're
looking for it to look good, no.
If you want a model that's supposed to represent a Chaos Space Marine that's kind of like mutated and like become a Demon Prince, maybe the other one is better. It's a lot chunkier and it has like some shoulder pads and stuff like that.
And tubes.
Yeah, and tubes. He's got lots of tubes. I'd also like to point out that John is not the Tucker Carlson of FLGN. He's obviously the Quentin Tarantino. So, like, it's really important that we all...
It's because how I look and not because of my views on feet. I want to make that abundantly clear.
That's just a coincidence.
all those pictures John keeps putting in the group chat are just a coincidence.
Yeah.
Please. He won't stop talking about feet.
Please stop, God, please. Perfect. Well, I think the body is excellent. Like, I really enjoy that part. But the chat, you guessed it, the face is actually just this, which is the Joker monster from Arkham Asylum. That makes me hate
I can't believe I have to remember that. Oh,
So yeah, we have, like I said, Taylor having to forcefully remember the end of the first Arkham Asylum game,
I'm really upset now.
which, like, as soon as I saw that Demon Prince model, I was like, "What's wrong with his face?" And I could focus, like, the fact that they made it like a white face, man, I could focus on nothing but the face, and it was just
You can't
the
focus on
worst.
anything but his luscious purple lips.
Oh, I mean, of course, people had some concerns about the model in general, like this guy here. We cut out a lot of it, but it says, I don't understand why all of these models are so aggressively heterosexually male. It's called a demon prince. That shit could be queer as fuck. Sorry, Tyler. This is just more straight male power fantasy wank. Guys, Taylor, does a demon prince appeal to the typical heterosexual male fantasy image of perfection?
Sure, that's probably fair. A lot of the game is like that. A lot of the game is a power fantasy. Could 40K stand to be a lot more gay? Yes, it could. I think it could be a lot more gay. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't have a problem with it appealing to like the typical male fantasy. I think it's fine for typical males to have a fantasy that they can reside in. I think that's totally okay. But could also we get more gay stuff? Yes.
Amazing. Danny, your screen's either frozen or you don't want to answer this.
Oh no, it's fine. Yeah.
Well, what's your thoughts on that kind of take?
Sorry, I was lost in a train of deep thought listening to Taylor's explanation of
Wow.
Of the male power fantasy in 40K,
Really
which
cool.
is I mean, you can't really argue with it.
It's right there.
True.
Look at it. Yeah, it's just true.
Sure. I mean, I don't understand why the Demon Prince specifically is like targeted out for that. I think that
huge.
like there could like there's definitely been a move towards a few more androgynous models in the lines and making them like and making model lines more gender inclusive, which I think is really great.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Like with a lot of the Eldar stuff, and then of course you've always had Slanesh, right, which has always been that way.
Right.
Even if it's poor design.
Very poor design.
But yeah.
Awesome. Guys, I forgot to put this slide in. So Richard, don't hit any buttons here, but like the visual viewer now gets the audio viewer experience. Because speaking of unusual tastes, the latest White Dwarf caught my eye by advertising. They had a section in the bottom right-hand side of one of the pages saying 50 Shades of Heresy, which was all the different colors of the Chaos Space Marine. Now, we're going to ignore the fact that there was only 16 different colors shown there, which was at least 34 colors short of 50 Shades of Heresy. Starting with you, Taylor, what's your favorite shade of Heresy?
The Iron Hands. I think the Iron Hands is the coolest, personally. Excuse me. No, I actually just straight up lied to myself and to you. The White Scars are the coolest Legion. It's not negotiable.
So White Scars would be the coolest shade of Heresy?
Yeah, their Sagiar Mazan stuff is really cool. They're only traders for like 30 minutes, but it's an actually good trader scene, which is really hard to get because Chaos players are just the whole line it goes.
No, please don't continue.
No,
we don't bring you on for your restrained viewpoints on the.
You
40K.
only get the implication this time.
Thank you, producer, superstar producer Dick, pulling it up.
If we're gonna go with Trader Legion specifically, I like World Eaters the most. They're actually shades. Oh, I thought we were talking about legions. This is way less cool than I thought.
We're talking about game colors. That's right.
All right, cool, got it. So the coolest shade is World Eaters, the World Eater colors, and then you throw a bunch of blood on top. That's the coolest shade.
Yeah, Danny, what's your favorite shade of Heresy?
John, I've always been, there's a lot of red in Heresy, right? Like, so sure. I like to move kind of past that. I feel like, I've always been a big Night Lords fan. So I'm real into those colors. I think they look, real good. I don't know. I'm really excited about a new edition of Heresy. I think the worst shade of Heresy, if I have to pick it, is the fan base.
That's true. That's fair.
I
will say the worst shade of Heresy is Weight Watcher Green, because Dave, I'm sorry I borrowed that shade paint from you and then never returned it. It's still downstairs. Guys, we're almost done here. Let's pull up one of the worst takes I've ever seen in this next slide.
I doubt it, dude.
Custodes and Harlequins were heavily nerfed. Drukhari are probably stronger than either now, especially with the option to stick some Harlequins into support.
We have flat earthers all around the globe.
John,
is that? Yeah, Danny.
We literally watched a flat earther documentary together.
We did.
Like
good times.
And the love story in that was a worse take than this.
So you think it's a bad idea to say it's good that Harlequins were nerfed because Harlequins can help Drukhari be stronger?
It's so bad. It's just like it's like the circular logic there is.
It's a very, very silly thing to say.
Yeah.
Harlequins are also still very good.
Yeah.
They lost a bunch of points in Void Weavers, but that army is still really, really good. So
they can do other stuff.
This person's just wrong. They can do the same thing. They can do the same thing, just with a couple less Void Weavers. Like, all right.
Well,
so instead of 9 Void Weavers hitting you on turn 1 after advancing 22 inches and shooting, it's just 6, and then just a bunch of dudes in transports.
They just won't be able to cover everybody with the aura anymore.
Right. Yeah. The aura getting nerfed is the biggest thing. That aura is just like straight up dead. It's not even aura anymore. Which, I mean, fine, good, okay. It was obviously a problem. The army's still really good.
Dude, guess what else is good? Having a 9-inch aura potentially of -1 attack is like,
wow,
makes all of your stuff so much better.
Man, you mean I also get a -1 to wound aura on top of that? Isn't that crazy? Yeah, armor's still good. Whatever, dude.
It's crazy.
Get out of here.
Guys, real quick, starting with you, Danny, here, because Taylor, I want that rage to build. I want that rage to kind of really get up there. Danny, what's the worst take you've ever heard for Warhammer 40,000?
Oh, man. Dude, this is hard. There are so many bad takes about 40K. Like, are you asking, like, just generally speaking, that's the question?
Yep, I left it super open-ended to be annoying.
Oh, my God. Yeah, the worst take I ever heard in 40K, like, and this is, I guess this is kind of also like related to 30K in a way, is that the World Eaters are cool.
That's fair.
No!
Taylor, what's the worst take you've heard?
I don't actually know, because for my own safety, I manually delete them from my brain and don't allow myself to remember them, or they will burn in my what's a brain have? I don't know. Wherever you keep your memories, it will burn a hole through that and I will die.
Your brain. Love it.
Yeah, that one.
And guys, in the chat here coming up, Usefulix letting us know League of Voltan only survived the old night because they were living in the dark ages of technology's version of a trailer park. And now that makes me want to go read more Voltan lore. Finally tonight, we're going to end with another trip to the competitive dictionary, which I'm going to make Danny read from a slide he can sort of see. There we go. Perfect.
Oh, I'm familiar with this term.
What in God's name?
Chipmunk. In events where sportsmanship is scored, chipmunking is the act of giving your opponent a poor rating in order to torpedo their chances for winning. Chipmunking is generally frowned upon, and many events keep sportsmanship semi-independent of a person's final rating as a result. Also see the Quennell.
That actually happened to me in real life one time.
I was going to say, has that ever happened to you, Taylor?
Yeah, a Spacewell player did it to me. He was really, really, really upset that I had 8 Alaris snipe Murderfang to death instead of charging him. So he gave me a 2 out of 10 on my sportsmanship score.
Yeah, that wasn't very cool of you, to be fair.
Yeah, it was really cool. I love it when Space Wolves die.
I do. Taylor, thank you so much for coming on tonight. A lot of fun, as always. Next week, Denny and I will be back. Same FLGN time, sort of. Same FLGN channel, hopefully. With the white dove of stats himself, Nathan Hennig is coming back. But don't worry, it's still going to be pretty grim after dark. And that's our show. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you Monday.
True.
Maybe on.